Hello. Well, I was just thinking that because I am studying this Kabbalah and I made the tree of life for me, and
You're going deep.
yes, and there's a lot of things that I am discovering that is like woo amazing about myself. I was thinking like while I am unfolding the secrets of myself, why not to share it, no? And I was one of the cards that I have to carve some deeper meaning for in my life is the card of the world. And I was telling like to pass it like, hey, why
World.
don't this one?
World.
So hey, why not to make a video about the discoveries that I am what I am finding out by myself about this, and that maybe will trigger in some other people. So they, maybe will trigger some questions and will also give
New
me
things
some
to think about.
information that
Yeah.
I could think about also. So maybe help from the exterior will do. I don't think it's any easy because people doesn't nowadays people doesn't like to think too much. They want everything solved in the net or in the doctor or in whatever. So, but well, let's go ahead. And I was telling Pasi what I was finding out
Hmm.
in the car of the war. You see, like this woman that is like naked, and in this car particularly, this is the Marseille Tarot, and you have like this the angel, the eagle, then you have like the bull and the lion there, and many people I have seen, I have seen that they are like the four archangels or four elements or the
Both.
or yes both or the zodiac symbols also zodiac, yeah, like, and then like this person that is in the middle is like a man or a woman and blah blah blah, so all this, but I didn't find anything how I thought this card is about, or what is this about. I see that this woman is carrying uh, two things in her hands, which I don't know if it could be a pergamins or they look like
Wands.
like
Magic wand.
just magic ones, and they have colors on it, you know, like they have blue and red, and in the other hand is inverted, is red and blue. Okay, so I was thinking, okay, and if I look in the deck, in the Marsella deck, you see that there's like the ones, I take whatever one, and you see that the back is like green, it's green, sorry,
The
the
background.
background is green. The pentacles, which is whatever, is yellow. The swords are blue, and the cups are red. Mhm.
Well, you can
Red, the
say.
background,
Yeah.
red, pink, whatever. Okay,
Reddish.
but red. So then you see this scroll here. Well, we continue with the ones. So then it's like the blue, which is carried by the swords, is the element of air, and the red, which is carried by cups, is the element of water. Okay, so in the normal state, what we do is what this woman is looking at, that is look where her staff is. She is carrying the staff, is looking the same direction that she is carrying the
Mm-hmm.
staff. That indicates that the water is down and the air is up. But I think that when you arrive to this car, It's about transmuting, so transmuting or changing.
Transformation.
Not transformation. It's just
Transmuting, was it not?
I don't know what is the term, but it's like reverse. It's reversing. It's about reversing. So because now, so that will be like it is like we see that like the obvious thing, no? The water is down, so we have oceans, rivers, whatever, what we
Right.
observe, and then the air, the atmosphere where we breathe and where we stop. That's the obvious. But one step further will be to change it and reverse it. And then we will be, because I was like, what the fuck, these clouds here, like. And the only way where water is above air is in the clouds, actually. So then it has to mean this thing. I don't know, maybe not, but it, I think, makes total sense, no?
Yeah.
Because it's not gas water, it's liquid water, what is in the clouds. I was reading that the drops that are drops actually, and that they can be floating in the air because of the static
I didn't know that.
the static
skipping
force.
school.
They keep it there because the static force is bigger than the weight of the drops itself. Then what happens is that when a mass of drops, let's put it like this, collide with another mass of drops, then is when the water fall, because it's like the drops get together, get bigger, and then in Spanish we say precipita. But I don't know if it's in English also the term, it's precipitation. Then it's fall.
I think it's the same.
So, yeah. And then I go further, because then I see like, okay, then you see the round crown where it may be an egg also.
I was thinking also like an embryo.
Embryo, yes,
thing.
also. But yes. But the funny thing is like it's exactly how it shows here. It will be, this is not the obvious way. It will be exactly the opposite. This is the obvious. The opposite will be the obvious way, where the earth element, what we see, should be here. This is the air, what we see normally, with water. So we see the air with water. Then the fire element, where we see the plants, for example, or that we can make fire on top of the earth. I know that there is also like earth fire inside the earth. Yes, but the water is contained in both. The water is contained in earth and in air, in both. But so yeah, this one is the obvious here, so it should be like earth down, then fire in the middle, good, and air up, like it is now. So earth, we have the soil, then we have the air, and then we have the soil, we will have the fire, so, and then the air. Yeah. But so this card is telling that we should do exactly the opposite, where the air is down, then the fire, and then the earth. And it was like, fuck, what does it mean to live in the air? Because what we do is we live in the earth, on top of the earth. But what will it mean to live in the air? And there I go. What will it mean? I came with something already.
No, go ahead.
But think.
Yeah, well, for me, it comes to mind from this is that it's like, wind.
Yeah,
sort
that's
of
the
like
first.
Air gets everywhere, and you would be sort of like free to go almost anywhere, and you can't really contain air. So you are like sort of everywhere. So that's kind of like spirit sort of thing, no?
Vale, okay.
That's like what I got out of nowhere. Now didn't I just found out what you said.
If you know, when
Half a
people
day.
is talking about the element air, is thinking about the world of the ideas and the thoughts and so on.
Mhm.
I would suggest that the stuff is like to live in the imagination, with the imagination actually, because
Yeah, to live in the imagination.
in the
is
imagination
another thing.
it means that, for example, if you think about like really like that will be like almost to be like as close as to, if there is some divinity, as close as it it can get, because when you are
Maybe
sleeping, for example, dreaming,
Mm.
okay, you basically you can do everything. You can die, you can jump, you can fly, you can
Funny
do
enough,
everything.
I
So you
think-
don't need any earth.
Have you ever died in your sleep, by the way? Because I have not. It always seems to be that something helps me out.
I
Just
don't know.
occurred to me. But also, if you think about that, it's claimed by some that the mind creates everything. So in a way, if you live in the air, you live in the mind, the imagination, which actually sort of
Yeah, but
creates
I mean
everything.
like, but not like gilipollas, you know, like nonsense, like crazy person. But to use like the imagination for your own development. So I mean, for example, if you have, imagine that you have a sickness, right?
Mm.
That you are able to imagine your body. I don't know, the structure of your body, and to feel or to imagine that, for example, if you have some bad sickness or something, the, let's put that the cause of this illness is that one, you don't produce enough whatever substance or
Hormone.
yeah, hormones, or I don't know, or whatever, you know, that you need in your body to recover. You don't produce it, and you are able to imagine that you are somehow creating this
Mm.
in your body with the imagination. So that for sure has to make some kind of placebo effect in the body, or some kind of feeling, has to give you some kind of feeling that will provoke some changes in the physical, you know, in our physics.
Yeah.
And maybe that is like it occasionates the reverse process for to the illness, no, to heal, you know. I don't know, because it, for me, it's like well, you see that there is like many people that has like spontaneous recovery or whatever, or they have like people who has like a really strong faith, and it's like a miracle that they, maybe the doctor says like, you are gonna die, you know, and you only have 3 months and you're gonna, you know.
Yeah, I think at least this is something that there is. People have been given months to live, for example, but they live for years for some reason. There was what Stephen Hawking, the scientist, hired.
Mm.
They gave him like not much, and then yet he lived decades after this.
Yeah.
Okay, he had health and all that, but I don't know.
So that could be, but not only with sickness, but if you think about like solving problems, for example, like it gives you the ability, if you work with your imagination, that you can manage with a lot of data actually, that you cannot do with just a normal reason analytic, you know, analytic reason that, you know, like in a paper, because it's the simple fact that you are putting the stuff in a paper is limiting you into look only from that point of view. But if you are somehow like able to imagine, you know, like if you will be watching or looking at the problem in a three-dimensional way, like that you can go even through you know, because the limitations, like the magicians say, that you are only put it, they are only in your head. So that will give us a capacity like in, I don't know, amazing, right? And it's a way, it's a form that we are not used to. And actually, if you think about the education prevents us to do that, because it's like a kind of like they canalize us to think in a certain way. Doesn't matter, you know, like you can go to like maybe like more open societies or less open societies, but you are always like they are canalizing you in a certain
They want
structure.
to make you citizens for the society that you are living in, right?
Yeah,
So
I don't even think that they are conscious about it. But they think
want
that
to make
is
sort of like productive,
no problem.
sort of
They think
citizens
no
for
problem.
the current society that exists where you are, one way or the other. Because I guess they don't, whoever that they are, is like, well, like with countries that it should go on like it is, and okay, I guess the idea is that develop somewhere, but it shouldn't. I don't think you go to the school. I don't know what to say. Don't go to school.
No, well, I think that is
but
necessary.
the thing is
of
that
course.
somehow,
Because
education is necessary, but
the
school
point,
is not.
No, the point is
maybe.
like the point. I mean, like I don't say it's bad to go to school and to have education, but it's the only way that we educate and that we are educated. Why don't we use both?
I saw what.
This is. I mean, like I don't know. I just have
Well,
eureka moment. I don't know.
Yeah, you have more than me because I'm here like a little bit with my eyes like what? Well, it was like in almost somewhere in the internet said that it's not, knowledge is nothing, imagination is everything. Was it something like this?
Yes, but imagination. A ver.
Because with all the knowledge, if you have no fucking imagination, what the fuck? You cannot create. Creating, I guess, is the divine thing to do. No?
Imagination is in a way dangerous also because, of course, you can see people that you cannot even like. We need to agree about what is reality or not, even if it's not the real reality or something.
This goes a little bit towards the question what we were asking in our other video.
Yes.
If this information exists in some level or some form somewhere, for example. Just if you think about it, check that one out.
Yeah, but the stuff is like we have to agree in something, no? That there is like some kind of reality for to understand each other because, of course, if with the imagination, the problem that it will occur, I don't know, I guess because we have not experiment this never, or I didn't see this in any society, but if it will be like everyone can use imagination in an open way totally for solving problems and for, I don't know, connect with the plants or whatever, you know, or whatever, because it's un limit, no? Whatever you want to do, maybe you just build up a way how you will do this, you know? And the point is like, and maybe I don't know, then we go to like the schizophrenia and you know, paranoia and I don't know.
Well, I guess the
like
problem
all these
in
things
this,
because
yeah, I guess that comes down to this. That
could be dangerous as well in a
because
in a way.
the imagination doesn't necessarily produce only positive or
No,
good things.
no.
As we might know.
Yes.
Why I do all the time like this? So yeah, then people are very creative killing each other, for example. So of course that would need to be in some kind of very balanced.
Yeah, but I am not talking about only to kill each other, but I am talking about mental illnesses.
Yeah, I don't know. Does it have to do anything with creativity?
No, but it could be like could it be that because, for example, when I am making the videos about like, and it's only like the meditations that is awakening this part, right? is awakening this part. If we don't think about like if there is any magic or any other
But
stuff.
one thing that occurs to me now, actually, for this is like, at least for me, now if we talk about creativity, for example, I just see it somehow only as a good thing. I just see that it's a positive to be creative. It's a positive thing, you know. Creativity
Yes,
is a
creative.
positive thing, but is it? Because
No,
that somehow
it's not.
automatically
It's
just thought that it's
I don't think it's a positive or negative. It's just a capability. You know,
yeah, but at
it's
least
not.
if in this
It's
world
like
we live
to
in,
put.
sort of, it's
Like you know how to put or to use a knife. You know, and you can use it for release people, or you can use it for killing, or you can use it for
yeah, but
peeling a
if you think
beer.
about in general, when creativity is some kind of topic, I don't think it is ever presented in any negative way. It's creativity for me, and if you look at things, what you hear and see is like creativity is good, fundamentally good,
Yeah, well, doesn't have why too.
because
Because, for
somehow
example,
it brings about new innovation in everything. So then change needs to happen, and in a sense, change is not negative or positive, I guess, but in a way we need change. So you could think that it's basically positive because everything changes all the time. If it doesn't, then I don't know. That just occurred to me. That.
but okay, coming
yes,
back,
yes,
but
we are
this is
going
another.
somewhere.
But coming back to the point of the car that I was telling, like, do you think that that will make sense, like, to live in the air element, if it will be like the
Yeah, I
blue,
don't know if we
you know, the
come.
blue in the down. So, like, the woman that is naked in the middle is having the stuff in the hand. So it's like, okay, now let's switch. Now, on place of living in earth, let's live in air. Now the fire, so create. Now the force of creation, they create the fire, they imprint the action. But with on place of building from earth, building from air. So building. You understand?
I don't know.
From this imagination, then put the action or put the this creation or something, put it into practice, you know. So it's like then it's the fire, then you have the fire element, and then the earth. What would you understand? Then is the element.
Yeah, no, but
A ver, I am talking about this.
yes.
So this is the fire. So here, for if someone got lost also. So what I am talking is.
Say that I got lost.
Okay, so like they suggest in the car is air in the down, so imagination in the down, fire in the same place. So, but built on top of air. Fire built on top of air. Not fire built on top of earth, that it will be the normal. So, grow things out of air.
Is it a solid foundation?
It is the only solid foundation, because it look,
that's a good question.
Actually is the only solid foundation, because if when we die, even okay, well, like we don't believe in anything or no or whatever. Let's put like this: when we die, if we exist in some way, it's more in the air than in other place, right?
Well, if you consider that, like I said, that air gets everywhere, so yeah, earth to earth, dust to dust, all that.
Like for really, so I think that this card is suggesting that the real existence comes from the real existence comes, or the really transcendent comes about like to using our power of imagination, then imprint the fire for to build earth. Okay.
Yeah, to create some kind of concrete things. I guess if you want to have a house, you have to have a plan and execute that and build it.
Yeah,
So-
because but the stuff is that I think that the earth element that we bring, that it will be surrounded also with water, because here this the earth that we will build out of this will be like more solid actually, or more durable, than the owner, because it will transcend all the. It's like transcending the let's put the planes or whatever, because you build from a reality more complex, a reality more superior, that is watching more angles, looking from more angles than if you build from Earth. It really, you know what I mean? It's like
I don't
it's
know,
a
I
challenge
just
for
can't
the
have
physics.
this idea that you have mud and you make something, but if you use mud and you use fire, for example, with it, you get more durable things. For example, I don't know, does it sound really stupid? When you make pottery, you burn them with fire, so it comes and you actually use water, right? When you make the fucking thing, when people, a ghost movie or whatever, you make the mud thing on the mold, you put with your leg, you do this, and it goes and you mold it. You need the earth, you need water, and then in the end air, fire, you burn it, and then I guess air, you need to cool it down, so it's more solid than the fucking
Yeah,
putty.
but this is this process. What you are talking is exactly what he's telling is exactly like it do, so like the obvious way, and exactly what I am telling is the other way. What this car is telling is the other way. To make it the other way. So how
that
it
was
will
just
be.
like I just
Exactly,
got this
this is the
combining,
obvious.
like I was just thinking combining the four elements, for example.
That's
with
the
this.
obvious, yes, and
And
this
then
is
you
how
would
it
have
is.
to have
That
to
will
fit
be
like
like
an
this.
intention to make something, I guess, sort of. So how would you make a pottery? If you would consider like this, can you say an example through that?
So the point is like you with this thing you could make the pottery itself.
How?
Also,
How?
but you have to build it first with your imagination, but really from your imagination. So then when you build it from your imagination, you will probably manage as much variables as you can. Not like, okay, I'm gonna create this, like something, but you will create it like with, when you know that this tool of air can work, you will create it like maximize all the potence that on it. For example, that I am gonna make a pottery and it's gonna carry the most water that can. It's gonna be beautiful, and also it's gonna be ecologic, and also it's gonna be durable, and as many variables in one. So then the this is what I mean. Then the element earth, the final product, because then you will make the earth by itself. So this car now I understand is about creating earth. It's creating earth.
Okay.
So is the all the process around on place of fucking hell, on place of building from clay, no, and doing something new that apparently is new, is to do it the other way around.
To see the ready product first.
No, to build it in the world of the ideas, to maximize it there, and then to put it on earth.
Well,
You do it from clay, the
Yes, I
same,
know.
but now is not the origin is not the clay. The origin is
Yeah, but
the air.
yeah, but
You
how?
understand?
Yeah, I understand, but how I see it is like, in principle, it goes like you don't just take the clay and you just do it without thinking about it. You
Como
have
que
to.
no?
Como se? Como
Excuse me.
excuse me? No, no,
No.
but it's not like you
How
just.
does it come? No, how does
Okay,
it
then
come?
forget it.
Wait a
It's
second.
like this. You first, what I think that anything is created, you have to have usually some sort of idea in general. So I'm not saying that it's groundbreaking to think that you created something out of an idea. You yourself earlier was thinking also then saying that when you have an idea, and then I think it's even in the Kabbalah is the certain things that there is something, and then you have an idea, and then eventually you do something. Maybe you don't have the idea clearly in mind. Maybe the point is that if you have a very good idea or you have manipulated the idea and look at it in different perspectives, that you have a fucking good idea. But I'm thinking that if you create something, somebody had to have some idea before, because otherwise you wouldn't start creating. Of course, you can randomly just like do something and then something comes out.
Claro, this is what we did. For example, with Ainara, did you have any? We have the proof there, like that with the paint. It was like our neighbor.
Either I don't understand you what you say very good, or then
yes, I think so.
Yes.
Our neighbor gave us like some gave to Ainara a present that is like aquarels, and now we found Pasi and me we are painting more than Ainara the aquarels, but the stuff is like my point. Did you have any idea what you were going to paint? No, you just start painting, and then it came whatever thing. Then you follow, okay, because now it looks like this, then I do like this. So this is building from there. No, it's not the all.
So you mean that you would have, if you use the painting metaphor thing, it's like you have a picture what you're gonna paint, and then you're gonna paint it. Very simply put.
Yeah, or to build from the clay, from the paint itself, to build from there, not the process of elevating yourself is to think, to have the idea, to create it here and then put it there, but first to create it here in somehow.
So as if I understand what you suggest in that, not that you take paints and you paint whatever, or you see what comes, but it's that first you have had an idea what are you gonna paint, and the process that what you are suggesting is that then I decide that okay, I'm gonna paint you on the canvas, right? So I will look at you and then I paint you, and not just take a paint and start painting whatever.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yes,
Yes.
kind of. But when you practice like this, that is, it will be like a way of living, like building from air to earth, like this in the circle. That
I'm not.
that kind of like is a way of living where your imagination is like your whole potence, of the. So you are
like
working,
manifesting this.
You are working with that 24/7.
So you are manifesting this more or less what
yes.
You have in your head. Maybe that makes more sense to me to say it like this.
Yeah. But no, it's not manifested because the stuff like you can have. You are manifesting what you have in your head, but what you have in your head maybe just noise and pure nothing.
But then you probably cannot manifest anything much like that. And you have to have more clear head so you can have a clearer idea also. So,
claro, but yes. The world of imagination, if you go to build, the stuff is like to feed the imagination world. So to feed this, for example, to think like to be creative in the imagination. So like, for example, if I have, like I say, I have a sickness. How many people that has a sickness think about what I just told? Like, okay, I'm gonna think that this part of that I am feeling, that, for example, I have a wound. I burn with water all my skin and it's fucked, So on place of, okay, going to the doctor and so on, but after I have gone to the doctor and put all the things there and they pronounce that it's really bad and so on, I can make it, maybe heal myself faster, thinking about like, okay, this part, I'm gonna start building tissue from here, and this tissue building feels like this. I am feeling this there, like kind of like you are, put it like this, brainwashing yourself, okay? Like if you want to call it
so
like this.
basically, is this
So it's like
what they say, for
with your
example?
imagination.
Yes, but this is what they do. At least what I have read is that you have astronauts who actually go through to certain things like this in their imagination first when they view, and they also suggest that for like high level athletes do this, that they run the actual 100-meter dash in their head, and they picture the whole race and they win and they are fast, and they actually, even the brain even makes them use the muscles.
Yes.
So this is what you used to check.
Yes.
So that's that same thing.
Yes.
Yes.
But imagine that if you are only,
But
if
you
you can
that
do it
you
with this,
mean
but you do it
constant.
exactly all the
Okay.
time.
Because
Like,
otherwise
with
I am
everything,
thinking, yes,
with
because
cooking, with fucking, with everything.
yes. So yeah, so you basically would live and that's it. Now I kind of, because first I am thinking like, what the fuck are you
With your
saying? What
full
is this?
potence.
Yes, but how I was understanding, I'm like, but this is nothing new. What the fuck are you talking about? Like ideas. Of course, you first have an idea, then you do something. But now I understand what you are saying. That if you could be in this state constantly with everything,
Yes,
and
and
then
this
you
is what
consider
it
that's
means.
living in the air.
This is what
We
I
should
think.
just delete 35 minutes and 58 seconds out of this fucking video, and
But
then
this is what
take that.
I mean, that this color is okay with all this, because she's at the same time looking, and it's like the, what they say, like manage all the elements, but it's not manage. It's like this color is looking at all the directions. She has lived from inside and outside. She's surrounded by this one, but at the same time she's the center of everything. So this
she's
card
kind of
gives me
safe.
like
So she's
like it's in everywhere,
So yes, she's one with everything sort of, and she feels safe.
Yeah.
It's not in fear, which probably would be in this. Of course, fear can be a motivation to be very creative, so you can escape some situation or save yourself, or I don't know. But yes,
I don't know.
now I finally understand, and I really seriously.
And also
That
the
took a
funny
while.
thing is that, and there is this other stuff that these four animals, three of them has this crown around, and one doesn't.
And other cars, by the way, this one had and this one didn't, depending on.
Yeah, dependent also. But I think that this is what I see is like these animals for me represent like evolution, because the bull is like the one who eats grass, right? So it's a kind of like it's limited.
Or lamb.
Or lamb, but it's an herbivoro who is in
Herbivoro,
Spanish. Yes,
yeah.
that it. Then the lion eats meat, and these both has in common that they live in the ground, But then if we go to the on the ground, and we go to the eagle, then we go a step further. Not in the evolution itself of the species, but in the evolution of that the eagle has more view than the lion, that they can see only this in horizontal, but the eagle can see vertical and horizontal both. It's like the same with if you compare the bull with the lion. The bull can only eat grass, but the lion can eat meat and I guess some kind of vegetables, like the dogs can eat also vegetables. I am just making a guess. I will have to search for it, but I don't know what the fuck the lions eat. But and then you have the angel, which will be like kind of like bigger being than us or something, for the believers or for whatever. or the spiritual of ourselves or something like this if it's not an angel.
There is an angel.
But the point is, like, if you also look at this, all these colleagues, these colleagues, in a way, they are all limited. That these colleagues has only one task, right? And they cannot. This is why they are maybe out of the circle. They cannot choose to use this
but then you can
imagination
also think about
stuff.
it very much like
Or
this,
I
that
don't
this
know.
hugger is trapped inside this fucking circle. And this is the one who is limited because it's inside there. It cannot go outside the circle, so it dips
that depends
view.
also.
And even like this,
But,
of course.
but without any doubt, the guy that is inside has more possibilities than the rest. Because the angel has only one task. That is, the angel task is be the eyes between the, no, like they say, between the human and the deity. Okay, definition. And then you have the bull has a task to eat grass and to reproduce and stuff. And the lion has a task also, like, and the eagle another task. But the human
has a task half-naked standing on the grass with 2 sticks in their hand.
We have many tasks, you know.
Yes.
And we in one task.
But this is also
the task is that we can act like animals, like the lion, like the bull, like the, or we can elevate ourselves.
Maybe this
not like the angel in a spiritual way as well. We can do, but we can go a step further, which is like to play with our imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the meaning of this. I don't know. What do you think?
There's now a lot of discussion and meaning.
Yeah. Fuck. There's 41 minutes. Make it easy. Bye.
Bye.